Bright Duty. Every student matters.
So with that, we move on to the next topic, and here we'll look at one particular industry, which is agro-based industries. Okay. Now, agro-based industries, we know, are those industries which use raw materials that come from the agricultural sector for manufacturing its goods. All right. So some of the examples of agro-based industries are cotton textiles, jute textiles, silk textiles, woolen textiles, sugar, edible oil, etc. So you see, all these come from the agriculture. Sugar, edible oil, etc. Okay. So the first one that we are going to look at is the textile industry. Now, textile industry is the only industry in our country which is self-reliant and complete in value chain, meaning it does not have to depend on others. Okay. It is self-reliant because it gets raw materials from the agricultural sector, and that raw material is used for the manufacture of finished goods which are high value. Okay, they don't have to then send it to somewhere or in order to ensure that the finished goods has high value. Okay, the entire process is self-reliant and it completes the chain itself. Okay. Now, let's look at the main contributions of textile industry in our country. Textile industries contributes almost 14% to the industrial production. Of the total industrial production that our country has, 14% is contributed by the textile industry. Okay. It generates employment for almost 35 million people directly. It can employ, or it creates employment for that large number of people in our country. Okay. It contributes to almost 24.6% of the foreign exchange earning. So the textiles that are manufactured in India have huge demand abroad. Okay, so it is exported, and as a result of it, it brings foreign exchange to our country and adds to the wealth. Okay, so that percentage to which it adds or contributes is 24.6%, which is quite a great percentage. And its contribution towards the GDP, the gross development product, it is 4%. Okay. The next industry we are going to look at is cotton textile. Now, cotton textile industry is the oldest industry in our country. Okay. It is one of the oldest of all the industries that we have in our country. The first cotton mill was established in Mumbai in the year 1854. Today, nearly 1946 cotton textile mills are present in our country. So you can see, from first or only one in 1854 to 1946 mills today. Almost 20% of these are in the public cooperative sectors. So, of all the cotton textile mills that are present or that are set up in our country, 20% of them are in the public or the cooperative sectors. The rest, 80%, are all in the private sector. We now know what are public sectors, cooperative sectors and private sectors, right? So, don't get confused. Now, initially, the cotton textile industry, it was concentrated in some of the areas in our country, and these are Maharashtra and Gujarat. These are known as cotton growing belts. These are areas which grow cotton, okay, large quantity of cotton. Why they were only concentrated in Maharashtra and Gujarat? Let's look at some of the reasons. It's because of the availability of raw cotton, the raw material, okay, availability for market after the goods were produced, and the developed transport network in these areas, port facilities, the port because it's close to the sea, right? So the port facilities were also available. The labor was cheap was cheap, and the climate was moist, and capital also available. Money or investment was also available. Okay, but later the textile centers or the mills or the factories, they spread to many other states around the nation. So they were spread. So now the cotton textile industries can be found in Maharashtra, Gujarat, West Bengal, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, and Tamil Nadu. Now, cotton industry, it creates demand that supports other industries. Okay, cotton industry is self-reliant, but it helps in the functioning of other industries. Let's see how. Because when cotton textile is produced, right, now cotton textile, when at the time of production, at the time when the finished goods arrive in the market, now it's not colored, it's not with design, it just manufactures fabric, cotton fabric. But these fabrics need color, they need chemical. Okay, for proper coloring, for proper design, they need proper embroidery, they need packaging, they need designing, cutting, etc. All that thing is required, and those work are done by other industries. Okay, that is why cotton industries supports other industries. Okay, because these other industries provide chemicals, dyes which are required for dyeing. Like for example, the shirt that I'm wearing is red. This is cotton, but it's colored red. Now, when this cotton is manufactured in the form of fabric, first in the form of fabric, it does not get manufactured in red color, right? It's all same. But then the industry sends it to another industry, or the cotton mill gets dye from the other industry which produces dye, red color, and that color is used to make the fabric look red. So that is how the cotton industry plays a big role in helping or supporting other industries. So chemicals and dyes, packaging material, mill stores and engineering works, etc. This is why cotton industries are again closely linked with agriculture. Okay, because they help each other. Most of the dyes come from plants. Alright, the packaging materials also come from agricultural sector. All these help us understand that how industries, cotton textile industry is also linked with agriculture. So like we just said, how cotton textile industries also support other industries, right? In the same manner, it engages lots of other people, variety of people working in different sectors. Like for example, it engages people in spinning, weaving, dyeing, designing, packaging, tailoring, stitching, etc. So you see, it supports various industries, as well as various people are also supported by the cotton textile industry. Okay, now India exports the yarn to Japan and cotton goods, the finished cotton goods, to countries like USA, United States of America, United Kingdom, Russia, France, East European countries, Nepal, Singapore, Sri Lanka, and African countries. Now, although cotton textile industries are doing very well, but it has a major drawback, and that drawback means problem. It has one problem. And what is that problem? That is, in India, cotton textiles industries, they produce the best yarn. Okay, the best yarn. But in India, we do not have proper knitting and weaving units which are competent, which are good enough to be used to make the high quality, quality yarn that we produce. Okay, let me say that again. Our country produces best yarn, but the knitting and weaving units that we have, it's not proper enough. It's not meant for using or making or working with the high quality yarn that we produce. Okay, so because of that, we cannot use the knitting units, the weaving units with the yarn that we produce in making or in producing better quality textiles. Okay, that is one major drawback that we suffer. Now next, let's look at jute textiles. Okay. Now jute textiles are, or jute textile industries are second important industry. There are about 80 jute mills in our country, and most of them are located on the banks of River Hooghly in the state of West Bengal. Now over 80% of the jute goods, almost or major chunk of the jute goods that are manufactured in our country, that comes from the state of West Bengal. Okay, and the remaining 10% or remaining 20%, 10, the first 10% comes from the state of Andhra Pradesh, and the remaining 10% comes from the states of Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Orissa, Assam and Tripura. Okay. Now, jute textile industries also provide employment to about 0.37 million workers. Okay, this is a report that we get from 2010 and 2011. It also engages 4 million lakhs of small and marginal farmers, okay, who are involved in the cultivation of jute. So, they are also involved in the entire process of jute cultivation. In 2005, the government introduced National Jute Policy, and the main objective of this policy, this law, was to increase the productivity of jute textiles, improve the quality of the produced goods, and enhance production, increase the production, and also to ensure supportive prices to the jute farmers, the farmers who cultivated jute. Okay, today the jute textile industry is facing problem, and that problem comes from the competition that it receives from the synthetic substitutes. Jute is very good, okay, but on the other hand it is expensive, so people do not buy, or the demand for jute is not much, so people turn to the synthetic substitute of the jute like nylon, okay, that is cheap. So this how people are moving from jute to nylon, that creates problem for the manufacture of jute, okay, jute textiles. And another competition that it faces is from the jute products that are produced by Bangladesh, Brazil, Philippines, Egypt and Thailand, okay. Now government tries to help so that the jute production, the jute textile production improves or continues to grow. And one of the ways that the government tries to help is that by introducing a policy of mandatory use of jute packaging. Okay, so the government has made it important for government has made it compulsory for the packaging, okay, for packaging of goods to be done by jute textiles. Okay, so that way the demand for jute continues to increase. And also by introducing another way to help improve the jute textile production is by introducing other jute based products. Okay, that way it can contribute towards the increase in the production of jute textiles. Some of the countries which are main buyers of jute textiles or products are United States of America, Canada, Russia, Germany, United Kingdom and Australia. The next industry, agro-based industry that we are going to look at now is sugar industry. Now sugar industry is India's second largest agro-producing industry. It's the second largest agro-based industry. Okay. And India ranks first in the production of khan sari and gur. Okay, so in sugar it comes second, but in the production of khan sari and gur it comes first. 34 million Indian farmers and their families are dependent on sugar cultivation. So large number of farmers work towards the cultivation of jute, cultivation of sugar or sugarcane. Okay, but this industry is seasonal, meaning it does not work or it does not function throughout the year. It can only work in one particular season. Okay, because the production happens because of this reason, the production of sugar takes place for only 110 to 220 days in a year, and the rest of the days it cannot work. Okay. Because of this reason, it is suited for cooperative sector. Okay, cooperative sector, we know that how the people who are cultivating the raw materials, the people who own the industries, and the government and other people, they all come together and they work towards the functioning or manufacture of the goods. Okay, so the sugar industry is a cooperative sector. It involves farmer from the beginning. Right from the beginning. So the farmers are engaged in this industry from the very beginning towards the end of the process of sugar production. Okay. Between the years 2010 and 11, there were around 662 sugar mills around our country. And some of them, the mills are found in the states of Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat, Punjab, Haryana and Madhya Pradesh. More than 60% of the total mills are found in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. Now, sugar industry also faces some problems. Okay, let's see. The problem is that the sucrose, the sugar content of sugarcane, gets depleted or reduced when transported over long distance. So, if the industry is located far away from the from the area where it is grown, then there is a problem. There is this problem, and the problem is now when the raw materials are harvested, when the sugarcane is harvested, it needs to be transported to the industry. Okay, to process it, to manufacture sugar. But if the distance is too long, then the sugar content, the sucrose, that's called sucrose, that content gets reduced if it has to travel a long distance, if it takes days to reach the industry. Okay, that is why the sugar industries need to be located near the sugarcane producing areas, so that the sucrose content of the sugarcane remains intact and does not reduce. Now recently, over the recent years, we can see that sugar mills have migrated to the southern and the western states of India, especially in Maharashtra. Okay, most of the mills are now slowly moving towards the west and the south. Why? Because these areas have cooler climate, okay, and the cooler climate helps lengthen the crushing season. They can crush the sugarcane for a long time. Otherwise, if the climate is not cooler, they have to make sure that the crushing happens in a short time. And the climate also increases the sucrose content of the cane, okay, the sugar cane. Alright, because of these reasons, the sugar mills have begun to migrate towards the western and southern part of our country. Mineral-based industries. So the topic before this, we looked at agro-based industries, and here we look at mineral-based industries. So we know that mineral-based industries are those industries which use minerals and metals as raw materials for the manufacture of the goods. Okay, so some of the examples of mineral-based industries are iron and steel industries, aluminum smelting industries, copper smelting industries, cement industry, fertilizer industries, etc. Now we'll look at some of these industries similar to how we looked at some of the agro-based industries. The first one is iron and steel industry. Now iron and steel industry is called the basic industry or the key industry. Why? Because all the other industries, they depend heavily upon the iron and steel industry for the machinery. The iron and steel industry produces machineries which are machineries, tools, equipments which are used by all the other remaining industries. Okay, without these tools and machineries, they cannot function, they cannot manufacture the products. Alright. Now, this iron and steel industries are also called heavy industries because they use raw materials which are very heavy and bulky, and even the finished goods are often heavy and bulky. Okay, and this means that they need huge money. The cost of transportation of the raw materials and finished goods, the final finished goods, that is very high. They need huge amount. Now we look at some of the iron and steel plants in India. The first one is Tata Iron and Steel Company or TISCO. Okay. The second one is Indian Iron and Steel Company, ISCO. The third one is Visvesvaraya Iron and Steel Company. The fourth one is Bhilai Steel Plant. Fifth, Rourkela Steel Plant. Sixth, Durgapur Steel Plant. Seventh, Bokaro Steel Plant. Eighth, Salem Steel Plant. Ninth, Vishakhapatnam Steel Plant. And 10th, Vijayanagar Steel Plant. Now, we looked at 10 steel plants. Apart from TISCO, all others are public sector plants. But TISCO is not public sector plant. Okay. Now, in the past 20 years, the production in iron and steel sector has increased. Okay. So, they are doing very well. In the year 2014, 86.5 million tons of steel was produced in India. India stands fourth in rank among the world's crude steel producer. So, India comes fourth in the world, okay, when it comes to production of crude steel. And India tops the list in the production of sponge iron. India comes first when it comes to the production of sponge iron in the world. Alright. Now, iron and steel industries are located in close proximity. They are located very near to the areas where raw materials are found or available. Because if they are not located near to the areas where raw materials are available, then they have to invest huge amount for the transportation of the raw materials. Okay. So, for this they need, in order for the raw materials and the industries, if they are located far away from each other, they need efficient transport system, right? They need to have proper investment on the transport system, because the finished goods are also heavy and they need transportation. Okay. However, the iron and steel plants are often located very close to the areas where they get the raw materials from. But despite that, they still have to invest huge amount of money in transportation, because we know iron and steel industry is a heavy industry, which means the raw materials are heavy, the finished goods are also heavy, and that requires transportation both for transporting raw materials as well as finished goods. Okay. Most of the iron and steel plants are located in northeastern and southern part of the peninsular part of our country. Okay. Why? Because these areas are mineral rich areas. Okay. And because these areas have easily available raw materials required by the industries, the iron and steel plants or industries are located in these areas. For example, let's look at Chota Nagpur Plateau region. This region is rich in mineral. Okay, this is why in this region we find large group of iron and steel industries built in this area. All right. Now, the proximity or the closeness of the raw materials, availability of cheap labor, low cost of raw materials, including iron ore, and a growing home market, these help in the location or in deciding the location of the iron and steel plant. Okay, if the raw materials are not available, if the laborers are not cheap, so that causes that affects the location of the industry. We did it in the beginning of this lesson, right? How location is very important. Location of the industry is very important, and there are factors which affect the location of the industry. Now, the public sector iron and steel plant, they are managed by the Steel Authority of India Limited, which in short is called SAIL. Okay. Now, the iron and steel industry also has many challenges, many problems. It faces many problems. And what are they? The infrastructure is poor. It has irregular supply of energy, power. The laborers are unskilled with low productivity. If the laborers are unskilled or not skilled, then the productivity becomes low. It decreases. The raw materials are of limited supply, especially coal, okay, and they are also very expensive. The raw materials used are also very expensive. These are some of the challenges faced by the iron and steel industries. However, efforts have been made by the private owners of iron and steel industry to boost the growth of the iron and steel industries. How? By adopting the policy of liberalization and the policy of foreign direct investment. These are the policies adopting which the private owners of iron and steel industries are trying to boost their production. Okay. The next industry that we are going to look at is aluminium smelting. Now, aluminium, the metal, is a good substitute of steel, zinc, copper and lead. Okay, this aluminium is used for the manufacture of aircraft, wire and utensils. The utensils, the plates, the dishes that we use in our kitchen. Now, the metal is light and it is corrosion resistant. It does not wear away very quickly. It's malleable, it's good conductor of heat, its strength becomes more when it is mixed with other metals. So, it has many good properties, okay, this metal. Aluminium smelting industry is the second most important industry in our country, okay. In 2008-2009, India produced 15.29 million tons of aluminium. Today, India has 8 aluminium smelting plants across its country, okay, and they are found in the states of Orissa, Kerala, Chhattisgarh, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu and West Bengal. The main raw material needed for the aluminium smelting industry is bauxite, okay. Now, so the industry, okay, the setting up of the aluminium smelting industry, for it needs to make sure that the availability of bauxite in its surrounding areas or in close proximity is available or is possible, okay. Let me say that again. So, bauxite is the raw material used by the aluminium smelting industry, and for the bauxite to be easily available when or where the industry is set up, that is important. If it is not available in a close proximity of the industry, then that might involve extra cost, extra expense, okay, which is not good. The next industry that we are going to look at is chemical industry. Chemical industry is also very important in our country and important for our country's economy. It is one of the oldest, diversified and rapidly growing industry, okay. Now, chemical industries are of two types, organic and inorganic chemical industries. Inorganic chemical industries are widely spread, while organic chemical industries are located near oil refineries and petrochemical plants, okay. The chemical industries, they produce chemicals which are used for agriculture, and they're also used by industries and also by the consumers, by the people, okay. Today, it produces variety of goods, and that include cosmetics, toiletries, plastics and pesticides, which we all use almost every day, right? The next industry that we are going to look at is fertilizer industry. Now, fertilizer industry played a very important role in the success of India's green revolution. We studied about green revolution briefly in the earlier chapter, the chapter before this chapter, right, where we dealt with agriculture. Now, with green revolution, the increase in fertilizer, there was an increase in fertilizer consumption, okay, by the agriculturalists, and this was done, the consumption of fertilizer in the agriculture sector increased rapidly because their aim was to increase the production of food grains in the country. With the help of the use of fertilizers, the rate of growth of the productivity of all agricultural sector was to be high, very high, was to go very high. That is a green revolution. And in this initiative, fertilizer industry played very important role. Okay, fertilizer industries can be found in the states of Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, and Kerala. The next industry that we are going to look at is cement industry. The cement industry, the sector of this industry is progressing in India. Okay, it's not doing extremely well, but it's progressing. It's doing quite well. Today there is booming of housing sector. The housing sector is the building of houses for people. It's increasing rapidly. So there's a high demand of cement. Okay, and there's also increased activity in infrastructure development such as national highways, state highways, roads, bridges, etc. So that also leads to the increase in the demand for cement, because cement is used for the construction of these infrastructures, construction of houses. Okay, because of this demand, there's an increase in the production of cement. India, hence, is the second largest producer of cement in the world. The first is China, and India comes second. Cement, as I told you, is very necessary for construction activities. Any construction activities require cement as one of its elements. Okay. Cement is required for building factories, roads, bridges, railway stations, airports, commercial and residential complexes, etc. Okay. For the cement factory, the raw materials are silica, alumina, limestone, and wood network or gypsum. These are the raw materials. Other requirements for cement industries are coal, electric power, and rail transportation. Okay. The first cement plant or industry was set up in Chennai in the year 1904. After independence, or after 1947, the cement industries expanded and they were found all across the country. Okay. Today there are 128 large cement plants and 332 mini or small cement plants, and these plants are located in Assam, Himachal Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, Punjab, Jammu and Kashmir, Rajasthan, and Kerala. Cement is also exported to other countries in the world, like in East Asia, Africa, South Asia, and West Asia. The next industry that we are going to look at is automobile industry. Automobile industry in India is one of the largest industries. And this industry has seen or witnessed impressive growth. There has been impressive growth in this industry in the last 2 decades, in the last 20 years. Okay. India has 15 manufacturers or 15 industries of passenger cars and multi-utility vehicles, and 9 manufacturers or 9 industries, automobile industries of commercial vehicles, and 14 of 2 and 3 wheelers. Okay. The factories are located in Delhi, Gurgaon, Mumbai, Pune, Chennai, Kolkata, Lucknow, Indore, Hyderabad, Bengaluru, and Jamshedpur. The next industry that we are going to look at is called Information Technology and Electronics Industry. Information technology in short is often written as IT, right? Now, information technology and electronics industry has a global foundation, meaning that products used in this industry are designed in one country in the globe and it's produced in the other country. The finished good is produced in the other country and the final product is sold all across the world. So you see, it's all divided into different components around the globe and then sold across the planet. So this industry involves a wide range of products like transistors, television sets, computers, radars, cellular telecom pagers, telephones, and various other equipments. Now, this industry has helped change human beings' quality of life, because obviously with this industry we have received our cell phones, telephones, our TVs, our appliances, which makes our life comfortable, easier. We don't have to do a lot of work today. With a button we can do everything, right? We don't have to shut the window. We just press a button on the remote and the window shuts itself. So this industry has changed our lives, the way we live, and our quality of life has changed or improved. And with that, the economy of the country has also changed. Okay, it has generated employment opportunities. Okay, this industry generates employment opportunities to large number of people. By 2010-11, the software technology parks in our country had come in 46 locations across the country. And this industry employed more than 1 million people, out of which 30% were women. Okay? The city of Bengaluru has emerged as a result of these developments as the electronic capital of India. It's called the electronic capital of India, and it is also known as the Silicon Valley of India. Some of the industries are located in Hyderabad, Delhi, Pune, Lucknow, Kolkata, Chennai, Mumbai and Coimbatore. Okay? Industrial pollution and environmental degradation. So until now we learned about manufacturing industries. We learned about categories of industries. We even looked at agro-based and mineral-based industries, its location, its function, etc. Right? Now we'll look at, or we'll try to understand how, of course, there is a need for the growth and development of these industries, but at the same time, the growth and development causes pollution, causes environmental degradation. Okay? So, the manufacturing industries contribute towards the economic development of our nation, but the same process also has side effects, also has drawbacks, and that is it increases pollution and it leads to environmental degradation or decline of the environment. Okay. Now, this is caused by three kinds of pollution that occurs, and those are air pollution, water pollution, land pollution, thermal and noise pollution. Okay. Now, let's look at environmental degradation and how we can control environmental damage. Okay. Now, we know that with the growth and development of industries, use of resources, the environment gets damaged. Okay. The growth of industries, industrialization damages environment, damages the earth. Okay. Now, this damage occurs naturally sometimes, and sometimes it occurs through the involvement of human beings. Okay, through the involvement of human processes. Okay, and now in this damage, the industries play a big role. Okay, humans also, we also pollute our land, we pollute the air, we take active part in causing pollution, in damaging the environment, right? But the industries play bigger role in it. Okay, you can see how. With every half liter of wastewater discharged by industries, it pollutes 4 times the quantity of fresh water. So imagine if we pollute the fresh water once, with only half liter of water which gets discharged from the industries, that pollutes the water, fresh water, 4 times of what normally pollution occurs. So you can imagine how at a faster rate, at higher pace, the pollution takes place with the industries activities, its production activities. So we know that industries causes great amount of pollution. So how can this pollution, this damage be reduced? How can we reduce the damage? Let's see. So we can reduce the damage. We can see that we damage the environment less by taking certain steps, and the first one is by recycling the water. The water, we make sure that we do not use unnecessary amount of water, and we make sure that the water is reused, recycled. Okay. By also another process called rainwater harvesting. By harvesting the rainwater, collecting it, we also protect the damage of the earth. By treating hot water and its effluents before they are released into the water bodies. So the water or the liquid which gets emitted, which is thrown out of the industries, before they are thrown out into the area, into water or into land, they should be treated. All the pollutants, all the chemicals needs to be filtered. Okay, so that the treatment of the water takes place in 3 stages. The first is primary treatment, second is secondary treatment, and the third one is called tertiary treatment. So here you can see the first stage treatment is mechanical, the second is biological, the third is biological, chemical, and physical. By making sure the water goes through these 3 stages, the water gets treated before it gets emitted or released into the water bodies outside. Okay, so here there are some processes mentioned as to how the water is treated. And here in this slide, what we can see is various types of pollution which is caused by the industries. Okay, so we have air pollution, water pollution, noise pollution, land pollution, and thermal pollution. Air pollution is caused due to the presence of high proportion of gases which are emitted by the industries. The water pollution causes when the water with toxic chemicals and other inorganic effluents are released into the water bodies, the rivers, the drains, the ocean, etc. Land pollution causes by dumping of waste from nuclear power plants, glass plants, industrial effluents, garbage, etc. Okay. Thermal pollution occurs if hot water from thermal plants and factories are drained straight into the rivers and ponds before it cools and before it is treated. The noise pollution is caused when large amount of or when great amount of noise is caused with the use of machineries, with the use of different tools that are used in industries. Okay, so the noise pollution causes irritation and stress to us. Now, the other ways in which we can reduce pollution is by making sure that certain precautionary measures are taken. Okay, some precautionary measures are taken to make the air clean. Okay, to make sure the air is clean. How can we do that? By making sure that smokestacks are used and installed by the industries, by the manufacturing industries. That should be made compulsory. Everyone should install smokestacks, okay, in fabrics. And these consist of fabric filters, scrubbers, inertial separators, and electrostatic precipitators, so that the smoke that comes out of the industries gets filtered and does not pollute the air. Okay. This also helps reduce the particulate matter in the air. So when the smoke is released from the industries, what happens is, with that smoke, very minute particles, dust particles, chemicals, other things also get released. And with the smokestacks, these also get filtered. Okay, and also by making sure that minimum use of resources like coal, oil, natural gases, etc., that can also reduce pollution by industries. Okay, noise pollution can be reduced by fitting silencers or machines and on machines and generators. Okay, so that not a large amount of noise is emitted into the environment. So that is why, because of these pollutions caused by the industrial sectors, we need to work towards sustainable development. Now, what does sustainable development means? It means economic development. Okay, it means economic development and working towards it without damaging the environment. So it needs having economic development and environmental protection together hand in hand, both of them working hand in hand. Okay, not only economic development and not bothering about environment, both has to be given equal importance. Okay, now this concept of sustainable development has been put into practice by many power providing corporations in India. Okay, many industries such as NTPC, it has been committed, okay, it has committed itself for sustainable growth of power, okay, and it has begun to use efforts to minimize its damage in the environment. Okay, now how it has made efforts, let's see. By maximizing the use of latest and efficient equipments and by adopting techniques which encourage sustainable development. So they're careful in what tools they use and how they use. Okay, by using ash, by pond management, by managing the pond, the water bodies, and by ash water recycling system and also liquid waste management, by adopting these measures, they are trying to help protect the environment. Another point is by maximizing ash utilization, which minimizes the generation of waste. So the ash which comes out of the power plant, that ash is utilized in such a way that the waste is not generated. Okay, by nurturing ecological balance, by maintaining green belts and afforestations in the areas or the surrounding areas of where these power plants or industries are built. And the last point is by constant and meaningful monitoring of ecological status of all its power stations, by carefully monitoring, managing how the power plants and the industries are impacting the ecological environment surrounding the plant. Okay, through online data, they have an online database management system which allows them to ensure that the plant is not damaging the earth, damaging the ecological balance surrounding it. Okay, so these are the ways in which the NTPC, some corporations in India, are taking initiative to preserve the environment while they work towards the development of the industry as well as the economy.